Hi everyone, this is a short presentation about the song Crazy Blues by Mamie Smith and her Jazz Hounds, one of the most significant recordings in the history of American music. And in fact, this year marks the 100th anniversary of the recording and release of this song. It was recorded in August of 1920 and released in November of that year. So let's take a quick look at this and I'll try to explain why the song is profoundly significant. When Mamie Smith and her group went into a studio to record this song, they were trying to disprove prevailing belief at the time. Up to this point, it was acceptable for white artists to record black music, but record companies were not allowing black performers like Mamie Smith to make records based on the mistaken belief that there wouldn't be an audience for it. And so when she went into the recording studio, they're really going in there to prove that black music fans matter and that black Americans would purchase records by black performers like Mamie Smith and other singers who were going to follow her. This was released on a label, Oka Records, and you're going to be listening to the lyrics, have the lyrics printed, and you can listen as the song goes along. It's about 3.5 minutes long. Mamie Smith sang in an extremely robust voice. Recordings were much more primitive in this era than what you're accustomed to. Now someone would go in a studio, often each instrument is recorded on a separate track. Usually a singer puts down their vocals separately from the instrumental, and all of that is mixed together. She's in the studio with the entire band, far fewer microphones than there would be today, so she's having to really belt to be heard over the sound of her musicians. Very distinctive sound on the record. And some of the lyrics in this are going to be a bit surprising to you. Toward the end, she sings the line, "Gonna do like a Chinaman, go and get some hop, get myself a gun and shoot myself a cop." Now, these were startling lyrics in 1920. And part of what got this record attention. So she goes from talking about the despair, losing the love in her life to the point of being suicidal, to committing violence. It's an extraordinary progression in the record. So here's what the record looked like on the Oka label. And this was before the era of albums, before the 45 had been invented. So records that came out were heavy, thick, and ran at 78 speed, but each record was one song. The CD, the collection of Mamie Smith. Mamie Smith did not become as big as the stars that followed her. Much more impactful and influential were better remembered singers like Ma Rainey, Gertrude Ma Rainey, that you see in this slide. Bessie Smith, another legendary black woman blues singer from the 1920s. And Ethel Waters, who carved out a successful music career and later went on to appear in a number of films. But Mamie Smith's record paved the way for these women to have the success they did. It's a pattern-setting record. It was a groundbreaking record, and it proved that there was an audience. And in fact, black female blues singers in the 1920s were extremely popular in terms of being crossover artists, just like Motown artists would be in the 60s. And what I mean by that is they developed extensive white following too. So Mamie Smith's record is, as I said, significant because it's the first of these types of records to come out and proved that Black Americans were eager to buy music from Black recording artists.